What up, though, y'all? It's Chris, broadcasting from the D, and we have unfortunately lost Hulk Hogan at the age of 71. He was found deceased this morning. I seen a video where he was being carried out of his Florida home. It's a heavy loss, man. I mean, love or hate Hulk, you can't deny the man was a absolute juggernaut when it came to pro wrestling. In the 80s, that man carried the industry on his back. I remember being a little boy and I got one of those WWF wrestling buddies. I had the Hogan one and the Warrior one. I had an action figure, because they had a bunch of different ones, but everybody wanted the Hulk Hogan one. When you went to Toys R Us, and yeah, that ages me. When you went to Toys R Us, you know, you see in the toy section, everybody wanted the Hulk one or Warrior one. I mean, the rest of them was cool, but that Hulk one was the one you wanted if they had it in stock. The Hulk one, his hands was like this. They was like palmed, and you could lift them up and put another wrestler in his hands, and when you squeeze his legs, he, flip him down to slam him. So it was good times. Wrestling, people are always like, oh, it's fake. We know it's scripted, man. It was just entertainment, Now my son, he grew up watching it. He found it to be entertaining, and one of the pastimes that we would do would be we would watch some of the pay-per-views together, just like a bonding thing that we would do. I do remember we watched Raw when it debuted on Netflix, and he came out for a segment and he was getting booed and booed and booed. Dude, Scooter is loud. That's the noise for the video, y'all. You always get some noise every video, right? There you go with some scooter that needs some sort of tune up. You still hear it all down the street. But anyway, they was booing Hulk when he came out, and people were trying to say that it was because he was a Trump supporter and they were in California for that event. But I don't think so, though. You guys remember, Undertaker also has been a very outspoken Trump supporter, and everybody still loves him. So I'm thinking of some of the other things that Hulk's kind of been caught up in. Some years ago, literally 10 years ago, there was that audio that leaked. He was mad at his daughter. He was ranting about spending like $2-3 million on her career. And that really wasn't hitting. Some music career she was trying to do wasn't really taking off. And he said something to the effect of, there was some guy who's the son of a black billionaire who was helping her out, and he basically had helped her more than anybody. And I guess Hulk wanted him to take up with her because they were kind of like, they were spending time together, it seemed like. That's the impression that he was given. But she ultimately ended up curving him and dealing with this other guy that was penniless or whatever. So his frustrations boiled over about it. One, that he's spending all this money on his daughter's career. And this isn't me justifying what he said. I'm just going over it as why people may have been booing him. But he seemed to be really frustrated by the fact that the billionaire black guy, or son of a billionaire black guy, she started curving him, and instead she messing around gallivanting around town with this penniless one. And he if you gon' if we gon' F N-words, then let's get a rich one. I heard this. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I really wasn't upset about this, because bottom line is, many Caucasian fathers feel this way about their daughter. If you gonna deal with a brother, why can't you deal with a rich one? I mean, that just is what it is. They may not be all that happy to see a broke black guy pulling up to the house to pick their daughter up, But let it be some pro athlete, you know, as he said, one of them 8 foot tall basketball players. Let it be one of them that pull up and watch his tune change. Especially if it's one of the pro athletes that her dad's already a fan of, watch his tune change. So that kind of carried with him. Then there was a thing with Gawker. You guys, or you may not remember that, long time ago. He sued Gawker. It was over the whole tape, you know, that got sold. It was a mess, man. The early 2000s was really messy for Hulk. You know, they were. He had a bit of a tumultuous career with WWE. He'd get fired, he'd come back, he'd leave on his own, he'd come back. And the reason why he didn't end up coming back is because it was mutually beneficial. I mean, you know, he would get a bag from going back, and Vince would see dollar signs. I mean, Vince McMahon, love him or hate him too, that man will forgive grudges if it's good for business. He willing to put all grudges aside if it's good for business. Y'all can move forward and work again. You may be fired today, but 6 months, a year from now, 2 years from now, whenever it is, the stars align and it's good for business. Man, Vince like, what's up? Let's make some money. Let's get this bag. So, he ended up suing Gawker. I think he got like 105 or 115 million out of it. It was crazy. The lawsuit ended up basically bankrupting him. There is no Gawker now, right? And some people hated that. Some people loved it. I think more people loved it than hated it, because Gawker had kind of ruined the lives of a bunch of other celebrities, and now here it was, a situation where somebody was able to take them down. He really shouldn't have won that lawsuit. But jurors are people, all right? And people can kind of get emotionally involved in things. So they kind of rally behind Hulk in order to take down Gawker, and it worked. So, you know, Hulk has had a bit of a, you know, a up and down over the years, but I'm just like, listen, dude, 71 years old. In 71 years, you gonna do some stuff people don't like, right? You gonna do, hopefully, more stuff that people do like. Man, what's that? Oh, dude got the Jeep, he got the doors off, so he got the music blasting. I ain't mad at him, because if I was gonna get one of them Jeeps, I'd do the same thing, especially on a day like today when it's like 95 degrees. As I was saying though, you know, in 71 years, inevitably, you gonna do some stuff that people don't like, that people don't care for. And a person in their lowest moment is not the sum of their whole character. You know, in his 71 years of life, the man may have did a handful of things that the public may not have agreed with. He may have said something that the public may not agree with. But does that overwrite the sum of his whole life, everything that he's done? I don't think so. So if I'm sitting here as a black man, like, you know, that stuff that he said, that N-word rant that he went on, I'm like, man, I don't care nothing about that. You know, I mean, who hasn't said some stuff in private that if it got out, they wouldn't be necessarily proud of? I know I've said some stuff in private that if it was gotten out, I'd be embarrassed by it. I was like, you know, I probably shouldn't have said that. Yeah, I was frustrated. I was really angry in the moment. Yeah, that was kind of racist. I shouldn't have said that. You know, just things of the like. So I'm gonna leave it there though, you guys. R.I.P. to Hulk Hogan, man. Hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do. And hit me in them comments. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.